Hey, hope you're well. In this one, I'm going to share a few more thoughts about the Festool Sustainer saw, the CSC SYS50, the trim saw. I've had this a couple of months now, and I've been using it a lot more in the last week, last couple of days in particular, and there's something that I was dead wrong about. Let's get to that one first. I'll pull up a stool and then we'll get into it. So let's start with the mea culpa, the things that I was wrong about. I was fairly dismissive originally of the digital readout, the digital up and down in tenths of a millimetre. I stand by what I said in normal use. I just want the blade to come up a couple of mil past the thickness of the material. But I've been doing some slightly more fiddly stuff recently. I've been cutting some half-lap joints and some tenons for bridle joints and that kind of thing. We'll talk a little bit about this later on. And for that sort of stuff, where you're just trying to cut the shoulder off a tenon, being able to just raise the blade or lower it by a tenth of a millimetre is priceless. It really is. Absolutely fantastic for this kind of small, fiddly sort of work. And the sliding table as well with the mitre gauge just works so well for all that. Just so smooth, and it's so good, and it's so safe to use if you did want to say use the actual blade to cut the half laps and that kind of thing. Absolutely fantastic. No, I was dead wrong about that. It is extremely useful. However, I will stand by my original comments about the fence. To have all this digital goodness down here, and then to have to, tap the fence along into position a little bit at a time to get that shoulder cut just right on the line is a pain in the neck. I understand why it would be difficult to link the fence to the digital readout, but I think some kind of micro adjuster, even if it's only on this half, so that it doesn't affect the folding bit, that would be extremely useful. I think that would make a big difference. And I don't know if I mentioned, but a power cord would be really handy as well. But no, I'm absolutely delighted with the saw. It's been doing everything that I wanted from it. Obviously, it's a small table saw, so perfect for narrow rips in thinner stock, which is what I've been doing a lot of recently. And just really, really good for those fiddly little sort of half-lap joints that I've been playing with. These are what started off as part of a basic build set of videos. The basic builds, we've mostly been working with sheet goods up until now, and there's another 1 or 2 sheet goods projects to come, but we're starting to get into, if you think of we've made cubes, boxes, and obviously you can expand that up to make those cabinets and wardrobes using the same sort of techniques. And if cubes and boxes are the building blocks of fitted furniture, then frames are sort of the skeletons, the bones of other types of furniture. And I wanted to start getting into these, which means we've got to start thinking about some sort of joinery. So yeah, I mean, there's more to come on this. I'm just playing with some samples of examples of half laps and bridle joints and that kind of thing. And I'm going to go, there'll be a video to come where I talk about the probably 5, maybe 6 basic types of joins that you can make. There'll be a video about how to cheat, how to fake those as well, using sheet goods. And there'll be a few other things to come as well, so keep your eyes peeled for those. But yeah, so pleased with the saw. I thought it was very important to get that message across. One of the things that I have noticed about it with the batteries, I know initially I had the batteries separated out. I only had one of them running on Bluetooth because I wanted to see if there was any real difference between the Bluetooth enabled batteries and the non-Bluetooth. There doesn't seem to be, but what I have found is that the rearmost position seems to drain faster than the front position. So regardless of whether it's Bluetooth enabled or not, that back one drains faster. Now that's not necessarily a problem. If you want them to drain at the same sort of rate, then I guess you just wait until the 2 bar, until you get down to 2 bars on both, and then one of them drops to 1 bar, then you swap them over, and then they should drain at a more regular rate, and you should get the 2 of them running out at the same time. I only have 2 of the 5.2 amp batteries, so I've been swapping them over with the 4.2s. And the 4.2s do drain a lot faster. The 5.2s are definitely the ones to get if you are looking to invest in this saw. But other than that, it's been doing absolutely everything that I've asked of it. I've been ripping natural timbers with it, not just plywood and MDF. I've been doing some 4x1, 3x1, 4x1, regular spruce and redwood. With the stock blade, I haven't got a ripping blade for it or anything. And it's been absolutely fantastic. The 1.8mm kerf really does seem to make a difference. And I've got to say, it's got me, the Festool slippery slope here, it's got me thinking about the TS60 saw, because obviously it's making better use of that thinner kerf blade as well. I really do think the combination of this as a small trim saw, table saw in the workshop alongside an MFT with all the track saw and MFT goodness as well. It's a combination that's really quite hard to beat in a small workspace like this one. And I'll continue to work with it, and I'll continue to report back on how it's going. But as I said before, I just wanted to get it out there that it is working extremely well for me. I know people getting hung up still about the cost of it. That's fine, you know, buy whatever you feel comfortable with. But so will I. And as I said before many times in the comments, this was exactly in the middle of the price bracket of all the saws that I looked at. It's not cheap. It's Festool. Of course it isn't cheap. But it's doing everything that I wanted of it, and I couldn't be happy with it, apart from the lack of a mains cable. Have I mentioned that before? Anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you very much indeed for having a look, for taking a look. As I say, it's just a quick one, just reporting back on this because it's been a couple of months, and I'm aware that I haven't really talked about it much in the interim. But it's working out really well. I'm really pleased with it. Thank you so much for taking a look, and I'll be back again with another video very soon. Hope to see you in that one. All right, take care.